Hello, and welcome to the video I promised on Twitter. I'm going to be explaining the HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation Iceberg. Credit to Mishcause for the explanation video idea. His video on the Super Mario 64 Iceberg is actually what got me interested in iceberg charts to begin with. And without further ado, let's get started. The sky. The HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation exists in a pocket dimension. The HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation takes place in a pocket dimension created by me. Characters from any form of media, movies, books, video games, can all be brought there, and they are very real. HorrorGoo is the owner and creator of the HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation. I am. That's the extent of that one. The commentary table. The commentary table refers to the select few people at the commentary table who can both be at the commentary table and in the ring, because that's how things work here. The tip of the iceberg. Multiple versions of a character can exist at the same time. This refers to the fact that, building on what the commentary table one says, you can have more than one of the same character, potentially even in the ring, at the same time, because time quite simply doesn't matter in the pocket dimension. Chad won the first ever Rumble. This one won't quite make sense unless you're in the know. To explain Chad simply, Chad is a very strong character from Dark Souls. He was created by one of the contestants of the HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation. Only one Chad can exist in any timeline. Chad is a contradiction to the multiple versions of a character can exist at the same time point. He can only exist once. So the Chad you see in the Rumble is the same Chad in any other media. Anakin's intro. In the first HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation event, one of the first contestants, if I believe the first contestant, to come into the ring was Anakin. And it's simply a joke about how long his intro is. It's actually like 3 or 4 minutes long. At least one JoJo character per event. As it says, there will be at least one JoJo character per event. That's how it is. Underwater. The Magneto incident. The Magneto incident refers to the first Rumble in which Magneto released a psionic blast that incapacitated several children in the audience. Chad's parry mechanic. As Chad is from Dark Souls, he is naturally good at parrying. Psionic waves. Particularly intelligent or telepathic characters emit what we call psionic waves. These are very harmful and have been known to kill. Mimetic hazards. Mimetic hazards are things that, if you know about them, as in see them, hear about them, that sort of thing, they cause some unpleasant effect. The HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation is full of those. The HGWF Ring Breaker. This refers to the tournament at the end of the first HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation event, in which HGWF and Chad were battling for who was going to keep the belt. And ending the match, HGWF performed a ring breaker with Chad and was able to take the belt. Jimmy Neutron Underdog. Jimmy Neutron has been a fan favorite for quite some time. Jimmy Neutron always underperforms, but you can't help but root for him. Deepwater. Professor X's influence. Professor X has been rumored to be in the audience during several events, altering matches while he's there. Yearly events. This refers to the fact that time doesn't matter during the HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation events, and as such, the term yearly events doesn't exactly apply. Artyom's temporal powers. Artyom was introduced in, I believe, the third HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation event, and a strange incident where some fighters continued repeating the same actions over and over in his presence. Scatman John eliminated Thanos. Scatman John is a low-ranking fighter who was brought to the Rumble, I believe in the second Rumble, and was able to eliminate Thanos during the Rumble. Sinistar's body. Sinistar is a character from an 80s arcade game, maybe 90s, I don't know, by the rules of the wrestling event. You have to have a body to fight. So he was built one. Even deeper. The Diver Ghost's heart attack and Evil Otto's power. The Diver Ghost was a character introduced in the horror event, which is kind of pointless to say since there have always been horror characters. However, he was introduced there, and he made it to the end. However, he beat Evil Otto along the way, and suffered a heart attack and died. The Holy Battle of Father Garcia and Zolgo. Father Garcia is a character from Faith. He is a priest, and Zolgo is a demon. They had a match during the tournament that went on for 22 minutes, and Father Garcia performed several crucifixes on Zolgo and eventually took the win. Who can beat Gil? This refers to the contest of champions. Gil was introduced right at the end, and as of now, none of my contestants could beat him. Vegeta's height. So this refers to the fact that whenever I was adding Vegeta to the original Rumble, I gave him the incorrect height. He's supposed to be much shorter. The depths. Thanos table incident. So the Thanos table incident refers to a table match between Thanos, Broly, and Sinistar, some of the biggest characters in the entire cast. Thanos launched a table into the crowd and decapitated someone. Solomon. Solomon refers to the Godzilla NES character who was added for the Horror Mania event. That's it. He's just kind of an obscure character. Demo Man in the beginning of 2 back-to-back Rumbles. So the first 2 Rumbles had Demo Man coming in second in both events. He was one of the first introduced each time. The mask has Toon Force. This refers to the concept of Toon Force, which is just, if something's funny, then it works for that character. If you've ever seen a cartoon, then you know what Toon Force is. It's why cartoon characters don't get hurt by explosions and such, which makes them very powerful. Ralph's hat. Ralph's hat is the hat that sits on the commentary table. I don't know why it's that obscure. the Abyss. The rules. The rules is actually just kind of a joke. There are no rules. The Women's Rumble VOD. So there was a Women's Rumble. However, the VOD is lost. And to my knowledge, there's no way to get it back. The ring's anomalous properties. Several objects have gone through the ring. The ropes have strangled contestants. The ring is a hazard. Ohio. He was there. He sucked. Outsider OCs. This is just OCs of some people I know that I plucked from their heads and brought to reality. The original belt design. The original belt design is just the in-game belt. The real belt doesn't quite look the same. The bottom. Clone characters. Clone characters refers to Herobrine and Squidward's Suicide. They are the laziest characters. I just copy and pasted the Steve and Handsome Squidward and altered them. Failed Wario inclusion. This is partially a joke to refer to the Mario 64 Iceberg, the Wario apparition. But I was going to include Wario, but I couldn't for some reason. Akuma's comeback. He lost in the Horror Mania event. However, he may come back at some point. HorrorGoo has a multiversal power level. Yeah, I do. Erased characters. There are characters that will never return because quite simply they were erased. And that'll be it for the HorrorGoo Wrestling Federation Iceberg. If you'd be interested in me narrating any more icebergs, I'm not sure what I'd be quite as knowledgeable about as an iceberg I created myself. And I would appreciate any feedback on this video. And thanks for watching.